Performance management is a process or a system in place within organizations to be able to manage employee performance. Typically within organizations, it's a look back where it ends up being a review process to really evaluate what impact did an employee have throughout the last 12 months. And it really informs a lot of the ecosystem within an organization on any downstream processes that an organization needs to be able to budget and forecast for the next coming year as far as people and their employees and open roles go. Performance management can be a much more critical tool to an organization when it's used to better enable and grow their employees, meaning that performance is captured in real time as employees perform and is a tool to really develop employees into future roles with a focus on the next year's enablement versus simply evaluating last year's performance. Every single organization, no matter how it's formed or what its function is, there will always be performance management. And performance management is really, are you meeting expectations that were set to you, whether they're known or unknown? So there's performance management at a macro level and there's performance management at a micro level. And if an organization does not have a formalized process or system in place, then that employee is measured at a micro level solely to the expectations of their manager. If they don't know those expectations, then it becomes a shot in the dark. The benefit to an organization is really putting strategy behind what does our process mean to the business? How can we best leverage a type of ecosystem or a type of process that not only helps us evaluate how employees are performing against a set of standard expectations across the board, but how can we use it to better enable and thrust our talent and our employees forward to be able to give the best that they're able. An effective manager, a really good coach, is a big catalyst within our organization to really help to make sure that employees are meeting the right expectations and are developing in the right direction that the business needs. Typically, a performance review is the very last thing an employee and a manager will engage with at the end of either the organization's fiscal year or at the end of the performance calendar year. And typically that review really exists as a look back only process to say, how did this employee perform against expectations over the last 12 months? What the detriments are to an organization and to employees for a typical review that only does a 12-month look back means that they don't have a chance to course correct in the moment. Also, any manager who's doing a 12-month historic review of an employee is never going to be completely accurate. We cannot rely on our memories to be able to truly evaluate how somebody shows up day after day over the last 12 months. And we are all inherently biased in one way or another. So it becomes a very unfair process that does not drive the right outcomes that a business needs to be able to survive or thrive within their market. Usually it just leaves people frustrated or with hurt feelings, especially if they got a rating that they did not expect. If our memories fail us, and if we are inherently biased, that means we need to make our review periods much shorter and instead implement a process of enablement where there is consistent coaching, consistent feedback, and we're able to help our employees course correct throughout the year and do a future forward type of review process. Once you have that enablement plan in place, once you have more of a criteria on evaluating what good management looks like within your organization, incorporating very simple touch points on being able to be more evaluative throughout the year will become much, much easier. The goal of a more continuous process means that there are no surprises to an employee when they receive their final review. It should be very representative of how the employee actually performed throughout the year. The very first thing that an organization should do is to really sit down and evaluate what should we be doing better to improve either the output and the performance of our employees, how we're aligned in servicing the business, and what got us to that place? Understanding where you're coming from, where you are today, will help you to better assess what tomorrow looks like and how long it will take you to be able to achieve your end results. Step 2 is to take a look at your business strategy. Where does the business aim to be in the next 3 to 5 years? What does your talent and people strategy look like in service of that? Maybe it's up-leveling, maybe it's collaboration across the organization, or creating more innovation. Whatever the case is, your performance management process should really reinforce those 2 strategic points. Then you can start to really ideate on certain outcomes or goals. Either we want employees to have more agency and autonomy over their performance. We want leaders and managers to be more effective. Whatever the main goals are to achieve your vision, you will want to make sure you identify. And from that, you can better establish a timeline or a roadmap on how big of a lift it will be to be able to get to the achievement of those goals.